You're watching a serious video about 2D game development bootcamp, and we are at the yeah, I don't know which kind of episodes we are, but in this video I'm going to solve one problem, which is if you jump to say somewhere like this, you might encounter a problem of the stick to the edges, so you got a sort of friction. Yeah, so you might encounter something like this, and it's a little bit weird. Okay, so we don't like that, because once you achieve this, is sort of like a bug in your game. So once the player achieve something like this, they can initiate another jump, which is not what we want. Okay, so because once they can do that, they can do multiple jump, and maybe they be able to do something weird in the game and jump outside of it. So for example, maybe they can just jump all the way up without climbing the trees, and maybe unlock some hidden area where you don't want. So for example, the top of the platform, you don't want them to just jump their way to here, rather than use what you designed. So for example, you got this magic stone that when you bounce twice, you can just go to the top of the trees, and then you can just get hold of these leaves and the branches and go back to here and then jump it down. Okay, you don't want do something like that. So how to do that? Pretty simple. We're going to hack this thing by changing the player's collider. Okay, so we got player collider. Let me just get this widget a little bit smaller. Right now it's definitely too big. Let's scene. Okay, I think there might be somewhere around this place. Yeah, 3D icon. I'm going to make it smaller because you don't want to just cover your design. Okay, so basically what I'm trying to do is to remember, if you click this player, you got this collider here. I'm going to single that out by going to his prefab. Okay, so we sort of single this out, and if you zoom it in, you can see this sort of a line and collider like this. So what I'm trying to do is to make it collider, but this collider sort of act as a trigger, as a detector as well. So when the collider say touch the ground, you're going to trigger also the code. I think the code is right here. The script, and so the collider acts as a trigger is not something that what we want, especially if your code has become pretty complex. So what I'm going to do is to sort of separate the I think we got the capsule collider today, right? And there will be player collider. We sort of need a detector that's as a trigger, rather than just the body as a collider. Okay, so make sure Java editor is stored, package manager is set external editor. Yeah, so I think maybe they did not set. Okay, adjust that. You don't need to worry about that. It's just that I think I update the JetBrains, and we need to update that as well. So yeah, let's just go back to this player. So what I'm going to do is to add a detector as a sort of separate functionality, and attach that as a sort of detector on the ground, rather than using his whole body as a detector, as a trigger. So what I'm going to do is to right click, and we're going to make a 2D object, and let's make it yeah, let's make a square. Okay, so we got a square here, and that square will be our yeah, sort of a detector thing. Okay, detector. So the detector, did I spell that correctly? Let's check that. I have a terrible spelling, so I try my best to make it correct. Okay, so we got sort of a detector. We got a sprite render. We don't need that. Okay, so we can just make it disappear, or by just switch off the render. And of course we can add components, and this time I'm going to add a collider, and that will be our box collider 2D. Okay, so we got a box collider 2D, something like that. And what I'm going to do is to change the edit collider. Okay, so let's just make it smaller. Okay, so we got this sort of a collider like this, and we can make it down here, maybe make it smaller. Okay, so when you actually click this player, you can see that we got a whole sort of a collider that enclosed the body, but when the player actually touched the ground, it uses the detector to touch the ground and move it, say here. Okay, so let's go back to player. So they use the detector to touch the ground, and yeah, with the rigid body, dynamic. Yeah, dynamic is good. Let's make it continuous, so you can yeah, not encounter something weird. So let's just run that to test it out. Okay, so everything should work as before, but we can't jump. Okay, but the moving still pretty good. The reason that we can't jump is that the jumping is have a sort of a precondition. Okay, so we need this I think we need this collider, capsule collider 2D to be at the I don't know, at the ground. Okay, so to touch the ground layer, so they can do that. Of course, you can just skip all that. Okay, so what I'm trying to do is to, inside of the code, I think I'm going to access this capture collider, player collider, and I'm going to access that by using a box collider, I think. Yeah, but it's not attached to the same body. Yeah, let's just change the box collider. Let's just add that, and we adjust that in the Unity editor later. So we got the box collider 2D, and that'll be a player fit collider. Yeah, fit collider. I think I'm going to name it detector collider. Okay, so detector collider. Yeah, I'm pretty satisfied with the name. So everything that should achieved by using the player collider. So this is sort of a capsule collider 2D. Everything functionality that achieved using player collider, I'm going to achieve that using detector collider. Okay, so let me just at the start of it, I'm going to say that detector collider, box collider. Okay, so we actually get that component, and detector collider, and I'm going to replace. And remember, you can't jump, you can't climb, so you're going to use the detector collider, and you're going to replace the jump with the detector collider, touching the ground, and flip. We don't need that. Climb, yeah, we definitely need to change that. And then detector collider previously is player collider. So elif detector collider, and yeah, elif animator. Yeah, I think that's pretty much it. Let me just save it. Hopefully I've replaced every logic that we have written and rerun that. If there is no error, which means that it's successful. So still we can't jump. I think we failed to get the component. The detector, I think maybe just yeah, let me just delete this detector, and yeah, let me just go to the prefab and delete that. Let me just add that as the same inspector, so I can actually just get that. Of course, you can add a sub, and then you can find that. Yeah, if you don't know what I'm doing, is that we got a child object of a parent object, and we are inside the prefab. It's a little bit complex, so we need to instantiate prefab, find child, using transform to get child, something like that. So it's a little bit complex for the code, and I think this is better because this is not a sort of a must to adding a empathy and attach some collider to it. So I think I might as well just use the box collider 2D and add it here. I think that's maybe a better way of doing this. So after I've added this box collider 2D, let's just edit it, and it's pretty big, right? It's definitely pretty big. So what I'm going to do is to capture collider we get a box collider. Where's my box collider? We got a box collider, and still I can't see. I think it's just pretty vague. I'm just to zoom it down. Okay, I think here, got it. So whilst you are the same objects on game object, we can actually access it. So yeah, we got this box collider, and let's test it out. Yeah, we can jump. Yeah, pretty good. So we can jump, but we can't just stick ourselves to a wall. Yeah, we can still stick to the wall. I think it's because of the friction. Okay, so yeah, we sort of achieve part of it, but we need to add friction to it. So let's add another thing. I think we got material. Remember, we got super jump. Let's create another material. Yeah, so sorry about that. It's not material. Yeah, I've been working late, and yeah, my mind is not working properly. So right click, I think I'm going to create a physics. Physics, where is it? Physics material, and that will be a. Yeah, I think it's not physics material. 2D. Physics material 2D. and that will be a say no friction. Okay, no friction. So this sort of acts as a modifier, so we can get the friction to 0, and yeah, you can even add bounciness to it, so we bump some where you can just yeah, bump it back. We can get the capsule collider. Yeah, you can use capsule collider to work, because when you side bump to this platform, it should be the side to attach that. Let me just get no friction here, get material and no friction, and let's try and do that again. Okay, so even though I try pretty hard, try to start, I can't. I simply can't, because I will slide it down. Yeah, as you guys can see, I will slide down. Let me just change the platform a little bit so you can see more clearly. So let's get yourself a wall. So platform timeout. Let me use the active platform timeout. Let me use this environment. Let's get this sort of wall here, maybe somewhere like this, and adding some material here. And when you actually play, you won't be able to stick to that wall. Okay, so you will just slide it down. Okay, you can't possibly just yeah, stick to it. I think because you're at the edge of it, so your feet touches that. Unless your feet touch on the side, yeah, you won't be able to do that. Still a little bit of bug. So let's go back to player prefab. Let's go to prefab. I'm going to gently get this collider up. So we get capsule collider, and let's make the capsule collider a little wider. Okay. And then I'm going to get the box collider, make it pretty subtle. Okay, so pretty subtle, something like that, maybe something like this. So pretty subtle. Okay, so yeah, I think that's pretty much it. So become really hard for you to actually stick to the edges. So yeah, pretty hard unless you jump like this, but most of the time you won't be able to do that. So you can adjust that, but I think it's already pretty good. Remember, here we can't stand on that unless I already jumps above it, so I can sort of cling to the edges like this. But since it's around, so if I stop walking, we just gradually slide it down. Okay, so yeah, and then let's test the climbing. Just want to see everything's working, and it's actually working. And let's testing the magic stone. I think it's right here. Magic stone will give me the power to stick to tree at the top, and we can climb all the way to about here, but we can't jump because we're not touching the ground. Sorry, we need to do that again. So yeah, we need to touch the tree in order to do that. Okay, so hopefully, yeah, we can go to another platform and do something like this. And remember, you are doing a sort of a 2D platformer, but you can also just get rid of gravity and do a game like I don't know whether you guys play the Pokemon. So yeah, it's sort of like Pokemon that you got you guys walking on the grass and trying to find enemies and yeah, just have a little bit of fight with them. So yeah, that's all about the game design. That's just design the game that you like, design the genre that you like. Right now I'm pretty satisfied with the sort of Maple Story 2D platformer, and yeah, maybe in next video we are going to talk about how to achieve maybe let me add some hazards. Okay, let me add some enemies that you can fight, and when you touch it you will maybe lose a little bit health. Let's just when you touch it you just die, and maybe and later I'm going to build a health system, so when you touch it you lose a little bit of health, and the health bar just get down a little bit, down a little bit, down a little bit, down a little bit, and when you actually run out of the health bar goes to 0, and it's the end of the game, something like that. And then yeah, later maybe I have more time, I'm going to even complex system, maybe add a sort of I don't know, maybe some campaign, something like that, and adding a different animation. So when this guy swing his sword, it will get a wind coming out, gushing out, and flying to the enemy, and just crushing that, and get an explosion at the end of it, and the enemy just explode, something like that.